that's actually a really good segue. I've been a ton of people also, and I feel like the cryptid you're going to discuss today is also, if I'm correct,
I totally forgot we were recording.
a ton of people.
Hey folks, this is what I sound like when I don't know I'm being recorded.
I just sneakily will hit record. I think I said I'm
That's
recording.
good though. It's
Yeah.
we were having really good conversations. I was like, man, I kind of hope she's recording this.
Yep, I was.
Man, I hope I didn't like spew any of my
Your crazy, racist, toxic, manic pixie dream girl ideology.
You know what's bad is I did used to have a lot of that manic pixie dream girl energy.
Yeah, that's what they told us we had to be for boys to like us.
Yeah, that's true.
It was 100% that girl.
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
I put aside everything that I liked so that boys would like me because I wanted to be likable to them. So I pretended that I liked things like Star Wars and action movies and Magic the Gathering, and I'm like,
now see, you were going for different dudes than I was then, because I was like I was so bad at this. I thought, because nobody ever told me differently, that the way to make a dude like you is to become better than he is at the thing that he most cherishes.
that is the most threatening to a 90s man. How do you take down a 90s man?
Be better than him at everything. Yeah, I guess so.
Have you not seen the movie Go?
No.
Oh my God, Go is the...
Maybe if I saw that, I would have learned to like be more subservient or whatever.
Oh my God.
No,
That's the ultimate 90s manic pixie dream girl movie with Katie Holmes and like Sarah Polley and all these really, really thin women that were just so...
That movie sounds boring. I would have never watched it. All right. We're restarting again.
Okay.
All right, we keep getting sidetracked.
It's been a while. We haven't seen each other. Like
I know.
We've texted.
Oh my God, it's
and
been
stuff,
like
but,
2 fucking weeks.
Yeah, totally.
Jesus.
This is what happens when we don't get to hang out.
Wendigos, right?
Yeah, Wendigos. Megan's going to tell us all about Wendigos.
Okay, so check this out. I'm going to start with telling you nothing about them. When I was a kid, my across the street neighbor and I were like best friends, and she had told me this story of a Wendigo. The story she told me is nothing like this at all.
Did she not know what a Wendigo is?
Apparently not. So she read a lot, so I just assumed that she had like read it in a book. Now I'm not sure. She might have fucking just cuffed it.
She just had a really good imagination.
Yeah, she was smart. I mean, but she was 4 years older than me, so it's kind of like if you like walk up to a child with a remote control and you're like, I control the TV. They're like, oh my God.
They're like, you're God. Yeah. Maybe
I got Alex convinced that I can snap and turn it to the next episode because there's the countdown and I know numbers.
That's hilarious. Yeah. DJ still thinks I physically have a set of eyeballs in the back of my head.
Dope.
I'm like, no, dude, you're just really loud when you're trying to sneak around. Like, I can fucking hear you crunch, 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 crunch with the bag of chips. Dude.
I was a quiet child.
Oh, the quiet ones are always the scariest.
That's true.
Because they're really good at whatever they're trying to not get caught doing.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't get away with shit. It made me sneaky. So... Speaking of sneaky, okay, so I wrote a bunch of note cards.
Note cards.
So we're going to have a little Jeopardy style.
Fuck yeah.
Non-linear.
Yes.
Yes, and this is my best explanation of the Wendigo, of things involving the Wendigo. But I'm not trying to make this a 10-parter, so it's still relatively condensed.
I know almost nothing about the Wendigo. I'm very excited to learn.
That's awesome and intimidating.
Oh, I
hope I don't fuck it up.
Well, if you do, I won't have any clue. You just teach me wrong on purpose, like that girl did to you.
I know, but other people are listening.
Yeah. Oh, it turns out a lot of other people are fucking listening.
Yeah, that's right. A ton of them.
My God. Welcome to all our new listeners. Dude, we're so fucking stoked you're here. Did you hear our ad on iHeartRadio or Pandora and you're joining us now? Thank you. Thank you fucking a million thank yous.
Yes.
Dude, we're so happy you're here.
That makes us real glad.
It does. It makes our hearts all warm. Like, we have new friends.
Speaking of warm hearts.
Warm hearts.
Do you know what the Wendigo has?
Does he eat hearts? Warm hearts?
I mean, he'll eat most anything.
Does he have a pig heart?
He's got a heart covered in ice.
Ice? My God. Well, now you have to stay and listen and find out. Like actual eyes that look just into
No,
his...
not eyeballs.
Oh.
Ice, like what you put in your drink if you
Oh
don't
my
put
God.
eyeballs in your drink.
I got so excited. I was like, are they just looking inside
Jesus
his chest
Christ.
cavity?
Yeah, he's
Oh
just got
my
an
fucking
old
God.
school angel living inside of his chest cavity. Just
Oh.
nothing but eyes and wings.
That is so intimidating.
Very disturbing.
Ice. Frozen like ice.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Like, have you ever seen the show Frozen? Mm-hmm. Like that.
He's
in his
like
heart.
Elsa?
Yes.
Pew,
He's
or more like Anna.
He is, yes.
Because she got frozen.
Okay, then that happened. Yeah. He's like the one that has the heart of ice.
Oh, so he had like an older brother that was just like willy-nilly.
That didn't want to build a snowman.
Just didn't want to build a snowman.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be left alone. Just flailing out of the room. Pew, pew, pew. Iced his heart.
Yeah.
Oh, and he didn't have trolls.
His older brother's name was Jeffrey, and he was very mean.
Fucking Jeffries, dude.
Yeah.
Every Jeffrey I know. Well, there's one Jeffrey I know who is not a total piece of shit. But I don't know him that well.
I have a cousin named Jeffrey, and he seems fine. He's kind of right wing.
Okay, so the Wendigo that I'm familiar with is I watched an episode of Supernatural where there's like 3 guys in a tent, and there's some scritchy scratching, and then a lot of screaming, and then one guy gets yanked out and eaten, and they're like, it's the Wendigo!
Okay, so was that like the second episode or whatever of the first season?
I think so.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And no.
I'm gonna let the note cards do the talking.
Apparently, the yes part, keep in mind, I've not seen this episode.
Okay. I don't remember
I'm
anything other than that.
regurgitating something I heard.
I like it.
Yes.
I do that all day.
Because frankly, isn't that all the transfer of information is just people regurgitating shit they heard.
It's true.
Yeah, it's me justifying not watching that. I'm good at it. So anyway, according to a random blogger, they got most of that right, but they put, like, their protection spells were from peoples who are indigenous to, I believe, the southeast or southwest. That episode took place in Colorado, which I don't think I could necessarily justify as being southwest.
No.
So they used, like, they pretty much just Googled, like, hey, give me some symbols. And they were like, these are good.
I have done that as a writer. I'm just like, I'm going to Google this thing and hope that it works out okay.
You gotta make it region specific.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'm currently Googling and looking at all the Wendigo pictures. Not what I thought he was.
Okay, so here's the fuck of it with Wendigo. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go into my note card looks like.
Yes.
Yeah. This is how I stay on track. Okay, so here's what he looks like.
I'm sorry, I just put a picture of a Wendigo drawing right next, like, do it in side by side with Joe Biden. It says, Joe Biden is not the Wendigo.
I mean,
fucking internet.
I have nothing against him, but I could see the comparison.
I'm gonna
Possibly.
stay out of it.
I like the guy. I think he's fine. I got nothing against him, but he's slightly Wendigo-esque in the sense of anybody who is in their 80s will be a little Wendigo-esque.
It's very true. They might.
It's not a read on him. It's just he is a man who is elderly.
Yes. Who also might consume flesh raw in a moment of
he seems like he would definitely take his...
something.
Oh, no, I don't... He just seems like a guy who would, like, maybe eat his steak, like, rare, medium rare.
Yeah, I think so.
He doesn't seem like a well-done steak guy. And for that, I like him.
I like him too. He doesn't put ketchup on his steak like another
I was going to bring that up as well.
Cheeto-colored motherfucker.
So anyway, he looks like... he's gaunt. He's between 9 and 15 feet tall. Kind of zombie corpse flesh, like if somebody was dead for like 4 days and you dug him up.
Yeah.
But like well preserved dead, like, you know,
lots of taut flesh around bones and spinal column and
Yeah, he's got some protruding bones. He's got the flesh, all the flesh around his mouth is bitten away.
Ooh.
Giving him a creepy smile at all times.
Ooh.
Very sharp teeth, sunken in eyes. Smells like death. Cause I mean, he's made. I keep saying he. They have no gender. Like they have no sex, no secondary sex traits. Like no boobs, no. I mean, I think that maybe they have butts just because that's hard to remove. But all their junk has fallen off. It goes nowhere. It's like an earthworm. It just goes through and through. So they probably do have beeholes.
Probably.
But that's all. Probably. Or maybe some sort of like a cloaca situation. I'm not sure. Either way, they don't have dicks.
Damn. No dicks. If they had dicks, they fell off long ago.
From frostbite. They have a heart of ice, literally and figuratively. So their finger bones kind of like protrude from their fingers like claws. Like they're, the tips of their fingers have been worn off, like the skin on the tips of their fingers. And so it's just got like a very claw-like appearance. And yeah, like they got bones just jetting from their flesh. So that's what the Wendigo looks like. And so here's another thing. Sometimes they have hair, just like the leftover remnants of hair.
Yeah.
Sometimes not.
They seem to always have antlers.
Okay, now the antlers is a new thing.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
So it's the stag horns, antlers, like any horns coming out of them is a Hollywood thing. Yeah. So in the original Algonquin folklore, they did not. They just were essentially very large mummies. Here's another thing about it is sorry, I was looking at the Panera, seeing when the Panera gets here. Another thing about that is the more they eat, the larger they get. So it's
like a koi fish.
Yes. So let's say if I start out as a Wendigo, I will start out as roughly my size and I'll just be like a really fierce, like fast moving zombie. They're extremely fast.
Ooh.
And they can mimic human voices. And they also kind of have like their own sounds, but they can like mimic human voices. And if they need to, they can like access the part of their brain that is responsible for, stringing sentences together, shit like that. So they lack humanity if compassion is what makes us human.
That makes sense.
For the most part, though, they don't necessarily have use for communications other than trapping.
Wow.
They have their own noises that are kind of like, oh, or whatever. But yeah, generally they will only use speech for making traps and things.
Jesus, I fell down a rabbit hole on TikTok, which luckily is a phrase I'm saying less and less as the days go by.
Yeah, I've noticed you've been on less TikTok.
Yeah, and my life has been better because of it. But I found this account. It was like 87 short TikTok videos on things found on the dark web. And one that I've actually seen before, which was attributed to a skinwalker, is a guy who's out camping and he hears this voice like, "Oh God, help me, somebody help me." And he pans around until he spots like a figure in the dark and he kind of zooms in on it and it's a human shaped figure. It's totally in shadow. So you can't tell. This could easily have been faked, but he's screaming like, "Oh God, please help me, somebody help me." And, I've seen a couple of other videos like that where it's just like a rotting corpse looking thing and it's screaming for help. Like one is on the side of a road and this guy's videotaping it. It's like, "Hey bro, you good?" And the guy's like, but then you hear this like, "Oh, help me, oh God, help me," like this other timbre to their voice. So the Wendigo is different from the Skinwalker.
Yes. So here's the thing with the Wendigo is so much like so many other cryptids. Partly perhaps because the Wendigo didn't really even seem to come about in folklore until around the time white people got there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm getting to that and what it means.
Oh.
Now, part of that could be because they were trappers. And so just talking at trade posts with, new white European settlers, exchanging stories is generally, they didn't have HBO Max. What the fuck are they going to do? So they would talk about different stories and stuff from home. Okay. It's so much like skinwalkers from other cultures. And so also like werewolves, vampires. I mean, just zombies. Physically, it's very similar to like zombies, I would say, because it's just like rotting flesh, but also, it's fucking 10 feet tall, loose skin, all that, very skinwalker. One difference in skinwalkers that I had heard and I thought was pretty cool was with skinwalkers, not all witches are skinwalkers, but all skinwalkers are witches.
Ah.
Whether that's true or not, whatever. But I thought that was a very interesting thing to say. All right.
Dude, I fucking devoured that food.
We went on a brief break. Watched an SCP.
Oh.
We'll link it in our show notes.
Yes, I'm so glad.
And, yeah.
Dude.
It was fucking awesome.
Oh, so many show notes.
Gross.
So what was it?
I just ate cookies and I went to dust off my chest and cookie dust went everywhere.
Dude, then you ate the cookie right.
I'm fucking disgusting. I am so gross.
No, you're not.
I have no idea where I left off. I'm useless. Starting back where I never left off. So, we have seen Wendigos. Usually the horned ones, but sometimes not. Like in the Supernatural episode, it wasn't a horned one.
I didn't think so.
No.
It's like, yeah.
No, they did pretty good on that. But My Little Pony.
My Little Pony is a Wendigo?
Man, I shouldn't have led with that. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's like all the rest of them you won't be at all surprised by. Like Charmed, okay. Mm-hmm. Hannibal, all right. It's kind of like an allegory for cannibalism. It actually is an allegory for colonialism, though. In the long spectrum. Supernatural. It was on like 2 episodes of Supernatural. Yeah. More than 300 issues of Marvel.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Did Buffy ever do a thing?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Seems right. But in the original Algonquin folklore, no horns. No horns. So I was not able to substantiate this, but what I had heard. Oh, also Pet Sematary. I don't know if there was horns in it or not, though. Ooh. In the book. Mm-hmm. But Wendigo and Pet Sematary as well.
Interesting.
Right. So, I have heard that it was essentially this dude made a Wendigo movie. I think it was called Wendigo, not the new one. I think it was called Wendigo or something. It had a title. It was a movie that had a title. It was called something. It had a budget and it made some money. And the dude who made it did like no fucking Wendigo research. He was like, spooky guy with antlers? Yes. And until like way after the movie was already made. And then he was like, oh wow, I really fucked the pooch on that one. But by that point, the narrative was out there that fucking Wendigos have antlers. Bam.
Way to go, dude.
I know.
Although antlers are like a really fancy crown, so, I feel like any sort of flair on a cryptid is good flair.
I mean, yeah, but it makes it way less believable.
Yeah, that's true. I like the antlers.
It's easier for me to believe that somebody can grow to be like 15 feet tall by eating a lot than it is that a human could possibly grow antlers and
that's interesting skull. That's like the line in the sand for you. You're like, no, I'm out. Mm-hmm. I get it. I totally get it.
I used to be little and now I'm tall.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like 5'3", but I'm taller than I was when I was 5.
Checks out.
I find it easier to believe that I could stretch out than completely restructure my skull.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to bring up the body mod guys that do the things, but that's pretty intense body mod.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Turning your own face into a deer skull, that takes work, dude.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. So is the Wendigo, you said it's native mostly to the southeast? No. That was, no, you didn't. That was supernatural. All the facts
I'm chewing.
in there, they're just like all shook up.
Here's actually the thing. Wendigos are generally more, Wendigos are indigenous to the Algonquin speaking tribes, which is, I believe, like Great Lakes region. It's mostly southeastern Canada and northern Central America. How do I put it? North America. The top middle part of North America.
Okay. So, like, whatever those states are in the middle, because I can't think of it right now, that are under the great... Yeah, okay. I got it.
Got it?
Michigan and West.
East. Michigan and East. It's where this stuff is going on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
I'm really bad at geography.
That's all right, man. So am I. So, yeah, that's one thing that I thought was kind of interesting was even apparently in the episode, Dean Winchester had said a Wendigo in Colorado or something like that, noting that, like, they're normally not out there, because they're normally not. It's normally, like, central northeastern.
Okay. Did you ever watch Supernatural at all?
I mean, I enjoy the idea of it.
Yeah.
I just always fall asleep.
Yeah, if I hadn't... So, the only reason I started watching Supernatural is my old boss, David, who was amazing. He was the best. I did freight auditing for him for a very long time. And he loved to work out of his house because he could just, like, get up and he could work a little bit and then he could go back to sleep. And, you know, like we all do now, it's totally normal. Yeah. And so... instead of going to the office space that he rented, I would go to his house during the summer months because, like, he had this whole office set up in his basement, which they had redone the basement. It was really nice. It was, like, the guest bedroom and the workout room and also the office. And so I would show up in the morning. I would walk in the front door, and David and his husband, Ryan, they had all these greyhound dogs. They were so cute. And the greyhounds would say good morning to me. And I would go downstairs to the office and I would grab, like, a protein drink out of the fridge and I would sit down and the TV would already be on. Because somebody had already been down to, like, do their morning workout, and it was always on the CW. So I would watch. It was like Charmed, and then like 5 hours of Supernatural, and then Cops would come on. And that's the only reason I watched Supernatural.
That's dope.
I would watch it while I was working. And so I was like, I was never a Supernatural person until I started watching it at David's house, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen them all. You know, like it's no big deal." But I'd be like, "Oh shit, did you see that? Oh shit, this episode!" And this, like, otherwise I would have never. I still haven't gotten through the final season.
I want to watch it.
I really want to enjoy it again.
Yeah.
It went on for a really long time. I feel like that was just such a specific moment in my life where I had time to consume Supernatural at that rate because I was working and...
You know, my friend and coworker Liz has been watching Supernatural again with her sibling and said that it kind of slaps different now. Because we were talking about how, like, 90s movies are a little more cringe than we realized at the time. And she was like... Yeah, you know, I really like it. I really like watching it, but I was watching an episode, and they're at a high school, and Dean Winchester goes to, what's his brother's name?
Sam.
Goes to Sam, and says, 3 of these cheerleaders are 18. Guess which ones? And she was like, and that just, you know, took me out of it for a sec.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I get that.
I'm so fucking stoked that Jensen Ackles, who played Dean and is super fucking hot, is now going to be in season 3 of The Boys. He's going to be Soldier Boy in The Boys. And he's been doing all this Boys promo because The Boys starts in June. And I'm
a reason to live till then.
Yes! And yeah,
That's amazing news.
it's very good news. I'm so excited. And like the guy who played Sam went on to do Walker, Texas Ranger, and I'm like, no.
I don't actually care for him as much. His
I don't.
face, I don't care.
In the beginning, I was a big Sam, and then I was
Never.
like, at some point, I went.
There's something about his nose I don't enjoy.
He has very deep set eyes. He has
Yeah,
a very
I can't do
specific
that.
nose. He's got like the forehead.
I can only do deep set eyes like Hemsworth style, like
Yeah.
squinty eyed, square headed white guy.
Yeah. Okay, so here's funny. So Dave is like, we did the 23andMe for his birthday, and after we paid to do it, his cousin or something got a hold of him and was like, oh, did you know that we're like literally legit 100% Ukrainian? And Dave was like, well, I'm at least half, because that was his dad's side. He's like, but my mom was adopted, so I have no idea. And so I had gotten an email when we were setting up this morning. It was like, you have new relatives on 23andMe. And my first thought was, please, God, don't be my husband. Because we're still waiting to get his stuff back. It should be back any day now. I'm like, oh, God, what would I do? I don't know why my brain goes there.
Well, why not?
I am not Ukrainian at all. There is not even a little bit of Eastern European.
I don't know what those people look like. They look like me, actually.
I only know that because I already got my 23andMe back. But I am 0% Ukrainian or Russian or Eastern European. I'm like 100% Neanderthal, though. I have like 90% more Neanderthal DNA than most of the population. I was like, oh, that's the Islanders. Yeah, the little brown ones, that's us.
I didn't get, I did Ancestry, so admittedly, it's probably not as good.
Well, I'm sure it's just fine. I mean, did they take your DNA?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, then it's fine.
No, they took my opinion.
No,
they were like, you have really hard opinions about hating seafood. You must be
not
this.
Scandinavian.
Yeah, which is funny because I'm a shockingly large amount Scandinavian.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's even funnier.
I fucking hate seafood. I'm mostly Scottish.
I'm so jealous of that. I'm so jealous.
Being What?
Yes.
Why?
Dude, Scottish people are the best. They're so surly and like...
You can still embody that trait. You don't have to be genetically... I mean, I'm not doing anything with any of those Scottish genes of mine.
I feel like...
My hair's not red. I'm short and I'm broad. That's it. And I'm only broad because I overeat.
Yeah, me too. I should be lithe and small and brown, but no, Scottish people are amazing, and I think they're a lot like Pacific Northwesterners. So they live in a shit climate. They make the best of it. They don't give a fuck what you think or what anybody thinks. They will give you the shirt off their back, but they will also kill you if you insult the shirt. I mean, they're just a real hard, fast.
You're pretty much
black and white.
All of my Okay.
You are embodying your Scottish. No,
I guess so.
I love Scotland, and I'm very jealous because I want to someday go on like my heritage tour and be like, I could go to Scotland instead of like, I don't want to go back to Guam.
My family actually has a castle out there named after them.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
We didn't live there; we built it.
I mean, you could kill the people that live there and take it back.
I mean, it's a ruined castle now, so fuck them.
Oh, 100% you have to go take it back. Dude, you could live in a ruined haunted castle?
I mean, I could camp on the grounds. You don't understand how ruined this is.
Yeah, that's true. I have a very romantic notion of what this is.
Yeah, no, there's no roof. It's fucking leveled, homie.
Oh.
Like, when you had a shed?
Yeah.
Like, when you have a shed and then you remove the shed and there's just the platform? Okay, age that, like, a couple thousand years and there's, like, 18 pebbles. Make that about, I don't know, 4 acres of pebbles that are about waist high. How fucking dope would that be to live in? You can't even find a decent place to put a fucking tent.
That's true. You'd be laying on rocks.
Lumpy, rocky ground. That sounds dope. And while we're there, we'll get jobs at Walmart.
Yes! Yes! See, now that's the Scottish spirit.
Jesus Christ.
I don't live in the real world, I feel like. I feel like I'm insulated from the realities of all these things that I romantically fantasize about.
And I just look for the shitty things about it, and I hold on to that.
I pictured you having a castle like Dee and Dennis stayed at in Ireland.
No.
That kind of ruined haunted castle.
No.
No,
that's a fixer-upper castle. This is a you only have a foundation, and even that needs work castle.
You have the memory of a castle.
They tour it. They do tours.
Oh, wow.
Which seemingly consist of standing there, and they're like, all right. It's where it was.
We don't have any
take
pictures.
anything.
Yeah.
Not like there's anything to take, but don't take rocks. And then my aunt was like, my name actually is Urquhart. Can I take a rock? And they're like, you could take a rock. They said no, but a security guard gave her one anyway.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to take something from Alcatraz. They didn't appreciate it.
That sounds like bad luck.
Lucky for me, some very precocious security guard there was like, you don't want to do that. Do you know what you're bringing home? And I was like, oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I want no part of that.
Yeah, you shouldn't take stuff from places, especially haunted places. Yeah. And anything that's over like 3 years probably is haunted.
Yeah, probably.
Kids, don't steal. You don't really need that bra. It's probably haunted. That Macy's has been there at least 10 years.
I'm just thinking back to the moment when I went to try on bras and I was like, oh, this is a really cute one. I put it on. I was like, oh, it fits perfect. Where are the tags? Oh my God, it has sweat stains on it. Oh my God, this is someone's bra that they fucking swapped for the one they stole. Oh my God.
It fit well. It's so hard to find a bra that fits well.
And you know what I did? I fucking stole it.
You know what? That bra was probably haunted. That's probably why things have been happening ever since.
Oh my God, right? I mean, I washed it, but like...
You can't wash a ghost off.
You know
That's not how ghosts work, man.
I then gave it to my friend Erin. She's been having problems ever since.
Yeah, don't steal stuff, people.
Shit.
Yeah. Now, it's different if you steal from the government or if you get something for quote-unquote free and don't say anything about it. But don't actually take stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the last things I stole that I can remember. I mean, I never stole from people.
Maybe one of the things that you last stole gave you a bad memory.
Ooh. Mm. Oh, shit.
Yeah, was it in a Macy's that was over 3 years old?
It actually was in a Target that was about 20 years old.
See? Haunted.
Yeah. Super haunted.
Only steal from new locations.
I stole a sweat-stained Left Behind bra like a dummy. I might as well have said, send me all your haunted dolls while you're at it. Put an ad on fucking Craigslist. Do you have a haunted doll you need to get rid of? I'll give it a good home.
Oh my God. Maybe.
Oh shit. Thank God I know better now. Thank God.
Yeah, don't steal haunted doll.
No, don't steal haunted anything.
Jesus.
It's like I was just asking to get fucked with. Go to Alcatraz. And the worst part was it was a rock from like when you go out in the yard at Alcatraz, which is like a fucking, it's like a fence and you look over the fence and go straight into the bay. It's very bleak. And I was like, ooh, there's a little pebble here. There's a rock. And like my dumb ass is down there by myself picking up things clearly off the grounds. And the security guard's like, oh God, she's so stupid. She's gonna bring up something bad. I better help her. Yeah, he was very nice. It is unnerving there though. Everything is just like a fucking butt hair away from being in the bay.
You know who would have still had a good time there?
The Wendigo?
No, me.
Oh, when we go on tour, we have to go to Alcatraz. I will get on a boat for that.
I like boats. Boats are nice. I don't like boat people, but I like boats.
I will get on a boat and I will sit. I will strap myself in, and I will like do my meditative breathing so I don't have a panic attack and ruin the whole thing for you.
That sounds like a lot of ifs. There's a lot of moving parts. Can we take a digital tour instead?
Yeah, but then you don't get to feel all the pain.
How about when we are on tour and you get a tummy ache, I will go see Alcatraz.
You know what? That's probably a better plan. If you don't go with me, you'll probably have more fun.
Oh, you'll have more fun.
I will.
You won't be having panic attacks.
Oh, or I'll just bring a lot of Xanax.
What if you have to poop?
That I think about a lot when I think about places I'm going to go. Yeah, that would be a whole thing. It would be a whole... And you know the worst part is you buy a ticket to go to Alcatraz. You don't buy a ticket to come home. And yes, I made it sound very nefarious, but what it is you buy a ticket to go at like 11 o'clock and you can just stay there until they close. It basically means you don't have a hard out time until they close, so you can spend the whole day there. But I took that in a very different way. I was like, what do you mean I don't have a return ticket? They're like, you don't need one. I'm like, but I need one emotionally. I need to know I'm going to leave here. And they're like,
then leave here.
You're going to leave when you leave. Like, we don't want you to stay. We're not trying to trick you into sleeping here. I'm like, this is a scheme, isn't it? You took my $100, which is what it fucking costs to take that goddamn ferry. Turns out there are much cheaper ones if you just don't Google Alcatraz ferry and pick the first one. I did a lot of bad things in my early 20s.
How have you been alive this long?
Right? Sheer luck. Like, I have just...
Jesus Christ.
I've done a lot of hard and fast living just by being completely oblivious.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been watching that show, I Survived a Serial Killer, and I'm like...
You have probably survived many of them and just not even... You just blew past it.
Or I was so annoying, they were like, oh, it's just not worth it. Oh, this is going to be a whole thing. I need someone I can just kill and then cut up and then move on with my day, go get dinner, but this is going to be a whole thing. Just get out of my car.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think a serial killer would kill me. I don't think that I would be a target. I'm not their target demographic.
See, I am. Well, I was. Stupid, alone, sort of flighty, reckless, without realizing it. Yeah, I was definitely.
None of that was me.
Oh,
I mean, alone, yeah, but like I was all right with that.
Alone wearing headphones. At a high volume, so I was not even remotely aware of the world around me.
So here's the thing. I was always very, very acutely aware of everything, like, until, I don't know, recently when I just quit caring. When I was like, I challenge you to take me. Now, I'm not good at fighting. I am just heavy, and I can make myself twice as heavy.
Oh, boneless.
Yeah.
Just deal with boneless Meagan. See if you can do it.
And I can make myself a real thorn in their fucking side. So, like, they might abduct me, but they're not going to keep me for long.
Yeah. They'll
kill me. Yeah. But it'll be quick.
Exactly.
For their sake. They'll be like, I am done with this. But yeah. I feel like I don't even have an episode.
I'm so
I have
sorry.
all these fucking notes, man. Okay, so...
Oh, we have a very good episode here. It's just not 100% Wendigo centric.
I know, right? Why did I bother making note cards? Why didn't I just... So I made note cards because I didn't want to be like... I didn't want to go in and be like... I heard Wendigo stuff and I like root beer. Let's talk about cars.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
That's kind of how we roll.
I know. I shouldn't have prepared.
Magic.
Because now, yeah, we have like enough for 20 more shows. I've gotten through 3 note cards.
How to become a Wendigo.
Okay, how to become a Wendigo, friends.
I'm sorry, I just picked it.
That's good. Do it. So there are only a few ways. You can eat human flesh.
Okay.
You can kill a human, somebody who's like close to you, and or eat them. You can dream about a Wendigo or becoming a Wendigo. You can be going through some shit that makes you kind of selfish. Or, I'm serious, or put yourself above like others. So one of the accounts was a dude who poured himself tea and didn't offer like other people tea. And he became a fucking Wendigo.
Dude, I didn't realize it was so easy.
Oh, for sure.
I may already be a Wendigo.
I mean, are your toes black?
Sometimes
Then maybe.
Sometimes I paint them black.
No. Like, do they just black on their own? No black toe. Your toe just does it.
No.
Okay,
no,
then you're
God.
not a Wendigo.
Okay, when my toes turn black, I'm going to FaceTime you and be like, it's happening.
Also, you're going to know because you're going to have eaten your children. So if that happens...
Meagan! That was good.
I can mentally see that polo.
I know, right?
You're like, I lost it.
My toes are
ate
black.
them all.
I ate everyone. Dave tasted like Big Mac. Yeah.
Maybe.
Dude,
Maybe.
Big Macs and like gefilte fish. I just know that's what he tastes like.
Oh God, does he eat
know.
gefilte fish?
Oh, so much.
Jesus Christ!
Out of the jar with a fucking fork.
Oh!
Standing in the kitchen at night, barefoot, just...
Nick eats kippers.
No!
And he feeds the juice to Choo-Choo-Roo.
Oh, no! Poor Chuchi.
He loves it.
Oh my god, he's been
then
turned.
His whole face smells like fish. It's disgusting.
Oh my god. Does he eat the kippers with like their heads and everything?
Yeah.
Just like one down the hatch?
No, he puts them on. He'll either just take a fork to it or he'll put them on crackers.
No, not the cracker fishes. Oh my god. Oh,
It's
I hate him
gross.
so much.
I
My
know,
grandma
it's
does that.
disgusting.
My dad used to get anchovies on our King Arthur Supreme from Round Table Pizza.
Why would he do that?
I
Just to
know.
ruin it for everyone?
Yeah, so he'd be the only one to eat it. He was a fucking agent of chaos.
What a fucking asshole.
Yeah, right?
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I figured out finally what I'm doing with this.
Yes.
So what it means, what this all, like, what the whole thing means. So, as I have said many a time, it is, the Wendigo comes from Algonquin-speaking tribes, which is, it's like a collection of tribes, Cree, Innu, Ojibwe, there's a handful of others, and they're, Northeast Canada, North America, Middle North America. In the Algonquin language, Wendigo translates to cannibal or owl.
Ew. That's a wide
Also,
crevasse between
I know.
meanings.
Also, like, loosely translates to, like, selfish, like one who puts themselves before others or whatever. So, yeah, what it can mean is it can be, all of the Wendigo can be an allegory for colonialism, because these white, selfish, insatiable beings came from seemingly nowhere and cannibalized, like, their lives. Everything, insatiably.
Oh, shit. That
also,
hits different.
It does, doesn't it? Also, as a survival technique, as kind of like a boogeyman story to children, because a lot of the Algonquin-speaking tribes tend to live in areas with harsh winters. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't all cooperate, and if one person has those thoughts of hoarding, of me, as opposed to of we, then it can throw a monkey wrench in fucking everything. Those winters are harsh, and you need cooperation.
Yeah.
So it's, to discourage, like, I thinking, and also to kind of decry cannibalism, because, like, shit can get hard out there. And
wow, yeah.
Like, if you're snowed in and food's scarce, you kind of have to have something to think about to make your uncle seem less delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that makes sense.
Right? So how to kill it? There are a few different ways. So you can, I had actually heard a story, with a girl named Burnt Stick, and she was being tracked. It was like a bad winter, and the rabbits that normally she would trap were way less plentiful than normal. And so they were essentially starving, and she was out there, like, she would have to go further and further out to try to catch rabbits and food in general. And she saw this thing that seemed to be stalking her, and as much as she didn't want to lead it home, it was starting to get dark. And so eventually, like, it was kind of running parallel to her. She got home, her clever mother, who she had been making rabbit stew, kind of, like, gave her this look like, okay, play along. And she invited the Wendigo in and called him grandfather and gave him a big bowl of stew. And there was only enough seemingly for about 3 bowls. And so gave Burnt Stick a bowl and gave the Wendigo a bowl, and then another, and then all she had left in the bottom of the pot was a bunch of grease. And so she had given the Wendigo a great big bowl of grease, and he lapped it down, and the heat from the grease seemingly melted him all the way through like a candle, and melted his heart, which then kind of, like, liquefied, and then he died.
Interesting.
Yeah, so feeding them, making them ingest in one way or another hot fat, like, a lot of it involves trickery. Also, another parallel with them and werewolves is a strike through the heart with a silver bullet or a dagger, like a silver dagger.
See that?
Another way to kill it, this is like the most fucking thorough. This is if you really hate this guy. You remove the Wendigo's heart, shatter it, lock the pieces in a silver box, and bury it in sacred ground. Bonus points if you dismember the remains with a silver axe, salt, and burn the body and scatter the ashes. That's like...
Damn.
Final as fuck, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, there's actually also a thing called Wendigo Psychosis.
Oh, what is that?
I mean, it's what you would think. It's people saying that more or less the Wendigo made them do it, that they are the Wendigo, things of that nature.
That makes sense.
It made its way into psych journals in, I think, like the 1920s, like 1921 or so. It's mainly just characterized by excessive greed, cannibalistic behavior, just being a fucking Wendigo, you know? Americans being John McAfee, yeah. It fell out of favor around the 80s. I guess around the 70s there was a lot of things going on with that. So I have two left. Swift Runner, Wendigo Hunters.
Ooh, Swift Runner.
Okay, so check this dude. This is a Cree man who ate up his whole family, his wife, mother, brother, and 6 children.
6 children?
6 children. So he was actually a police officer for the tribe, I believe, and people liked him, people knew him. He was a big dude, like 6'6", like a big dude.
Damn.
Yeah. And but his thing was he was a really mean drunk, and so he started drinking again, and he lost his job. He got kicked off of the tribal land, and so he kind of Cody Browned and was like, let's all go into the forest in the winter.
Oh, shit.
And so his family packed up and went with him. And they always kind of thought like, oh, whatever happened to Swift Runner? And the following spring, he emerged from the woods.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, he skipped over going back home. He was all like, fuck you guys. He went to a neighboring town. And they were kind of like, hey, like, you know, what's up? Like, where's your family? Where's your family? You look well fed. And so, and he was looking at the kids in a way that made people uncomfortable. I'm not fucking kidding.
Oh, my God.
All of the accounts said that.
Oh.
And so, the long story short, he apparently had tried to lure some kids into the woods. A priest intervened quickly, because I guess everyone kind of had their eye on this dude. He had said that they had all died, that his family had all died of, like, starvation and stuff, which, I mean, is probable, sort of. There was an outpost, like, 25 miles away where they could have easily gotten supplies. But all the same, I don't know what their travel situation was. 25 miles is a long fucking way to walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if they were walking, if they had snowboat. I don't know what the fuck they had. So anyway, he claimed, so he claimed the Wendigo made him do it. He took the police officers to where his son was buried, and that kid actually did seem like he probably did die of malnutrition or something, because like there was meat on the bones. There was not meat on the bones for the rest of the family.
Oh boy.
And in those conditions, like, the body would have been well preserved. It wouldn't have just been bones.
Yeah.
And bones, like, that are snapped in half, seemingly to try to get the marrow out. Like, shit like that.
Ew.
Yeah, it was a fucking mess. So, he claimed the Wendigo made him do it. It was a very quick deliberation for the jury, like 6 minutes or some shit.
What year is this?
Fuck, I want to say like the 20s.
Oh, shit. Okay, I don't know why I
could be
pictured,
hella
like...
wrong.
No, I think I pictured, like...
I'm gonna Google this shit right now. I meant to write it down, and then I didn't.
I pictured, like, the 1600s for some reason.
Oh, no, recent.
Okay, that makes more sense.
When was Swift Runner convicted? 1879. You were more correct.
Okay. I'd say it splits the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, recently-ish. And, so he was hanged for Saskatchewan. Oh, this is in Canada, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rub that in Dave's face.
Almost all of this is Canada.
Yes.
There's a lot more. Like, there's some Wendigo stuff in America, but it is mostly Canada.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they hung him.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. He killed his whole family.
All that to stay alive, just to be killed.
Well,
for
here's
it.
the thing is, everyone was pretty fucking sure it wasn't to stay alive. Maybe the first one.
Yeah.
But his family was, like, killed. And that's a lot of people to dispose of.
There's not a lot of wiggle room on, like, the how and the why.
If it was one or two, maybe, but, like, 8 people. Yeah, 8 people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of people to eat. There's a lot of people to kill. So I'm going to end this out with the Wendigo hunters and then my take on it, because this is actually kind of fucked up.
Okay.
So they are known as Jack Fiddler and John Fiddler, not because that is their names, but because that's like the Canadians were like, "Hey, you're good at fiddling."
Oh shit.
I'm not fucking with you.
Oh
yeah,
man.
this dude was like well respected shaman and leader of his tribe, and they were like, "We're gonna give you a funny little name." So that was fucked up. So they were Cree traders. Now this is in like the late 1800s.
Okay.
His Jack Fiddler's dad was the Sandy Lakes people shaman and the leader of the tribe. And so that's where Jack had learned to spot and kill Wendigo. And he became a leader of the Sandy Lakes people in 1891 after his dad died. So he knew what the fuck he was talking about. And the Sandy Lakes tribe consisted of like about 120 people, but he also had the respect of like all the neighboring areas. He was just a good dude.
I'm looking at his picture right now. It's very
Does he just look like a good dude?
Looks like a good dude, yeah.
Totally. Everyone says he was a good dude. He defeated 14 Wendigos in his life.
Wow.
Yes. One of the reports I read said that he alleged to, but I choose to believe him, so I'm going to leave the alleged part out.
I like it.
I believe he did kill 14 Wendigos.
I do too.
So what got him caught killing these Wendigos was his daughter-in-law? I think it was his daughter-in-law or his brother's daughter-in-law. Had become a Wendigo. She was starting to she was in immense pain. The family, as often they did, the family asked him to intervene and to put her out of her suffering, like to figure out what's going on. If it's something bad, like put her out of her suffering. And she was on board as well. She was in immense pain. He had found that the Wendigo had taken hold and was getting to her heart. So he kind of needed to before shit got bad. So he and his brother strangled her with like a thin cord. And that was like the end of it. And like I said, the tribe, the family, everyone was like, yeah, that's the thing to do. You did a good thing. Let's move on and have sandwiches. It's sad that she died, but like, and that had actually kind of made the ears perk up of the local Canadian police. And they were like, oh, hey, we don't take kindly to killing here, see? And he was like, yeah, this is like tribal land, though. I'm killing fucking Wendigos, bro. Like, if I hadn't, she would have killed everyone. Yeah. Don't you get this shit?
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane, homie. I'm doing the work of my fucking people. How about you tend to your fucking people, asshole? Yeah. And so this tribe was like really fucking remote too. Like, Westerners had not really moved into that corner of Ontario until like the early 1900s.
Okay.
They were very, like, they had their shit together. They knew, they've been living here for quite some fucking time, happily, before, like, the Canadians decided to step in and be like, hey, what you doing here, eh? So this was, one thing that I thought was very interesting was this was actually one of the first cases of Canadian law superseding tribal law.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So John Fiddler, so they brought both up to trial. John Fiddler was sentenced to death, but he died of tuberculosis before the death sentence could get carried out. I think he was going to be hanged, something like that. Jack evaded police or escaped police capture and actually hung himself before trial. I know. And there was apparently a lot of like hullabaloo and petitioning being like, hey, like, leave these dudes alone. I mean, they were in their fucking 80s by this point. They were very old men by this point.
Dude.
Yeah. Right?
Like,
right?
fuck.
And there was another case, I believe after that, where there was a big stink put up about, which is awesome. Like, yeah, rightfully fucking so.
Yeah.
And they actually just left them be. And the white people decided to not fucking interfere. So I know how uncharacteristic.
Very uncharacteristic.
Very. It would be nice. They should do that more often.
They really should.
And by they, I mean I'm also a white person. And I think that we should stay in our fucking lanes sometimes. I know I just did a whole episode on Wendigos. I get that.
Well, but I think the important distinction is you're telling the history and the way that it affects the people in the land. You're not giving a slanted point of view where it's like, oh, it's a savage beast and it'll, it's not anything. Your point of view was not slanderous.
Well, and that's how it had been treated on, especially at the time, was more or less like, oh, these people still believing in all this magical stuff. And it's like, I mean, or maybe there's shit that you don't understand too. Maybe your ancestors made your gods to fit the things that were going on when your people were, coming into sentientness. And maybe don't be a dick about other people's beliefs.
Right?
Maybe they believe that shit for a reason. Maybe there's fucking Wendigos. Do you want to not take the Wendigo precautions and then have some Wendigos happen?
Exactly.
Honestly, man, I'd rather take the Wendigo precautions, especially if I don't have to do a fucking thing.
Right?
See, he's taking care of it. I just have to not be a dick.
Right? Not
Fine.
be selfish.
I can do that.
Offer tea to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a fucking Wendigo.
Yeah.
So, I guess the whole point of this episode is don't be a fucking Wendigo, guys.
Seriously.
Times are tough. Shit is hard. Don't be a fucking Wendigo.
Exactly. Offer your neighbor some tea.
Yeah. If you, make extra banana bread, maybe your fucking neighbor wants some.
I made banana bread last night.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's gluten-free, but if you want some, you can have some.
I actually need to make banana bread. Thank you, though. I'm very full.
Well, and you were the one who reminded
because I was
me
talking
to make
about banana bread.
It comes full circle.
Good.
Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. That is Meagan's Wendigo take. I think it was a good one. I hope so. It was important to cover.
And, I mean, I'm sorry to anyone who I fucked this up. If you want to come at me, bro. And I would love to make redactions or corrections. Yeah.
Keep us informed and we'll pass it on.
Yeah, trying to learn better to do better.
Exactly. Until next episode, you guys, did you like our new intro music that we didn't even talk about? We decided to switch it up. We've got our new intro music. No longer are we da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're mischievous music now. Do you remember the one that we picked?
My eyes are lighting up. I have the heart of a child. No, I don't.
Okay.
Was it the fart one? The mischievous one?
Oh, it is.
Cool.
Let's see.
The very first part's a little wacky, and then it really takes off. Yes. Yes. All right, that's better.
It's more our jam. You know what?
Yeah, it is.
The first song was a great start off, but we are full of schemes and mischief. So
that's really true.
We're so excited.
That song really it captures us.
It's good for us.
But don't let a Wendigo capture you.
Hells no. Stay tuned for our we're gonna finish up the month of cryptids with one more episode. So join us for it. It's gonna be fucking killer. Yay! Bye.